Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Entertainment with Buford and Francis. Today I'll be cosplaying, or at least mostly dressing similarly to Francis from the Fairly Odd Parents, and I'll be telling the story of the Little Mermaid. Enjoy the video. On a foggy morning out in the open sea, a ship comes from the fog, filled with sailors singing stories of the legendary merfolk. Aboard that ship is a young prince named Eric, his dog Max, and his advisor Grimsby, who denounces the merfolk as nautical nonsense, but one sailor insists them to be real. While distracted by Grimsby, a fish the sailor was holding slips from him and falls back into the ocean. The fish breathes a sigh of relief before swimming away from the ship. The fish crosses the deep ocean until at last the merfolk appear. Then they make their way through the ocean towards a shining underwater castle located in an aquatic kingdom called Atlantica. The castle is the domain of King Triton and is where he was holding a concert in his name, performed by his 7 daughters and the crab court composer Sebastian. The concert goes as planned until it is discovered that King Triton's youngest daughter, Ariel, is not there, much to his anger. As it turned out, Ariel was out excavating a ship graveyard with her best friend, Flounder the fish. Inside one wreck, she finds a pipe and a fork. This fascinates her curiosity, all the while unaware of a shark watching her and Flounder from outside. The shark bursts into the room Ariel and Flounder are in and gives chase to them all across the graveyard until the two manage to get the shark ensnared in an anchor ring. They then make their way to the surface where their friend, a seagull named Scuttle, lives. As Ariel asks Scuttle to tell her what the items she collected are, he describes the fork as a dingle hopper, an item humans use to style hair. The pipe as a snarf blat, an object for making music. Upon hearing the word music, Ariel is quickly reminded of the concert she missed and makes her haste back home. However, Ariel fails to realize she is being watched by 2 suspicious eels with the names of Flotsam and Jetsam. The 2 are spies under the employ of Ursula the Sea Witch, a member of King Triton's court before being banished. Ursula hates Triton with a passion for his atrocities towards her and constantly schemes of ways to exact revenge. The moment Ariel caught her eye, Ursula commanded her cronies to watch her, hoping to get used to her to get to the king. The royal palace, where Triton and Sebastian are scolding Ariel for missing the concert, but Flounder moves in to defend her, accidentally letting slip the encounter with Scuttle, which quickly angers Triton. The law of his kingdom forbids going to the surface world for fears of merfolk being caught by humans, but Ariel believes humans do not to be all that bad, which angers Triton to the point of telling her that as long as she's living under his ocean, she'll do what he says, not what she wants, and this sends Ariel away crying, with Flounder following her. When they've left, Triton asks Sebastian if he was too hard on Ariel, to which Sebastian replies, "Definitely not." Sebastian suggests that Ariel needs constant supervision, which gives Triton the idea to send Sebastian to keep an eye on her. Sebastian complies with the king's demands, but feels dissatisfied with the idea of tagging along some headstrong teenager. However, Sebastian's thoughts are interrupted when he sees Ariel and Flounder swimming off elsewhere, prompting him to follow her. He is led to a hidden grotto where he discovers a variety of human objects gathered together. Still hurt by her father's words and not trusting him, Ariel sings of her collection of human objects and how she desires to visit the world of humans, despite what her father had to say to them. The mood is quickly broken by Sebastian crashing in and threatening to reveal Ariel's grotto to the king. Ariel attempts to reason with him, but before anything could be resolved in the conflict, a large object is seen floating overhead, blocking moonlight from the grotto roof. Ariel, being ever curious, swims to the surface to figure out what this massive object was. The object proves to be a human ship, shooting fireworks into the night sky. Ariel swims towards the vessel, in spite of Sebastian's protest, and climbs aboard to behold the dancing seamen. Ariel learns that the humans aboard are celebrating the birthday of their prince. One creature that catches her eye is Max, the sheepdog who takes a liking to Ariel, but Ariel's left enamored when she sees the dog's master, Prince Eric, who receives a large gaudy statue of himself as a birthday present from Grimsby, who sourly proclaims that he hoped it would be a wedding present. Eric protests that he had not found the right girl yet, but insists that when he does it will hit him like lightning. It was then that the sounds of thunder echoed in the distance, followed by an ever-growing gust of wind. Without warning, a hurricane blows in, sweeping up both ship and crew violently. In a volley of wind and water, the crew rushes to batten the hatches down, but to no avail. Ariel is thrown off the vessel, but manages to catch sight of the ship being struck by lightning, setting it on fire. When the ship crashes into a gaggle of rocks, the crew is sent overboard along with the statue of Eric. Though they all abandon ship and make it to the lifeboats, Eric discovers that Max is still on the burning vessel and goes off to rescue him. Unfortunately, while Eric manages to get Max safely, he cannot save himself when he gets blown away by a massive explosion caused by the onboard gunpowder, lands into the ocean below underwater. While she witnesses this and rushes towards his aid, Ariel rescues Eric and takes him back to shore. Once at the shore, Ariel sings of her desire to join Eric's world before fleeing at the sounds of Grimsby and Max approaching. While Ariel sings, Eric only manages to catch a glimpse of her before she leaves. But as Grimsby raises him up, Eric vividly remembers a girl who had saved him and is determined to find her. As Ariel watches them from a nearby rock, Sebastian tells her that the situation must be kept secret from her father, but Ariel does not pay attention. Instead, with vigor and determination, Ariel makes a bold promise that she will be part of Eric's world. However, what Ariel does not realize is that she's being watched by Ursula's eels. Ursula is gleeful of the situation and eerily looks to a gaggle of polyps in her lair, all former dreamers who came to her power. She then mutters about Ariel becoming a charming addition to the group. A few weeks later, Ariel spends her time daydreaming of Eric, which piques the curiosity of her father and her sisters, who believes Ariel is to be in love with another merman. All the while, Sebastian is a nervous wreck trying to keep the secret from being found out. Ariel then decides that she wants to visit Eric, but Sebastian is having none of that. He attempts to bring her down to earth with a musical number about how the sea is better than the land. Sebastian manages to bring many fish together to sing along, but as this party is happening, Flounder shows up and manages to slip Ariel away unnoticed. By the time the song ends, Ariel is nowhere to be seen. Sebastian is left alone to grumble about her. Suddenly, the royal herald calls for Sebastian to report to the king about Ariel. Sebastian, afraid that Triton figured out what had happened, accidentally slips the truth during the meeting and is forced to tell the king everything, much to his fury. Back at Ariel's grotto, Flounder reveals that he has saved the statue of Eric from the wreck, much to Ariel's delight. However, the pleasantries are cut short when Triton arrives at the grotto with Sebastian behind. After a short argument, Ariel confronts Triton and tells him that she rescued Eric from drowning to death and she loves him. Horrified by her words, the enraged Triton confronts Ariel and blasts all the secret treasures in her grotto and reduces them to a junk pile with his trident. When Triton even blasts the statue of Eric into pieces, Ariel breaks down and begins sobbing. After a now remorseful Triton leaves, feeling extremely regretful, ashamed and guilty over what he had done, a weeping Ariel tells Sebastian and Flounder to leave her alone to grieve, not allowing them to comfort her. However, beknownst to her, Flotsam and Jetsam enter the grotto and sweet-talk Ariel into going to Ursula to achieve her dreams of being with Eric. Not trusting Triton, Ariel accepts with an escort from Flotsam and Jetsam, who send her to Ursula. As they leave, Sebastian tries to warn Ariel about Ursula. She doesn't want to We hear it as she's still angry with him for telling her father. Flounder and Sebastian follow after Ariel all the way to Ursula's lair. Ursula comforts Ariel and explains that she can grant Ariel's wish to be human for 3 days, but she must give Eric the kiss of true love before the sunset on the 3rd day, or she belongs to Ursula. Flotsam and Jetsam interrupt Flounder and Sebastian attempting to stop Ariel. In exchange for her legs through, she must give away her voice. Ariel agrees to these terms and signs the contract, trapping her voice in a necklace Ursula wears and giving her human legs.